Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, your diaper dissenter, and your Zolshenitsyn of sickness psychosis. I'm on my way to get my teeth dealt with on the down low by my undiapered dentist, who shall remain nameless for obvious reasons. Just wanted to make the point that even though there are diapering signs practically everywhere, it doesn't necessarily mean that face diapering is being enforced. It's kind of a don't ask, don't tell situation in my experience. The people pushing the diapers are trying extremely hard to create the image of both universal diapering in order to create the impression of universal crisis, and to conflate these signs on the doors of businesses and so on with laws which have not been passed. It's a really important point. These are policies that are being imposed by stores, or rather stores are being pressured to abide by these policies or guidelines issued by the Gesundheitsführers. But there are plenty of people and businesses and business owners who object to this, and I can tell you this from personal conversations with several business owner acquaintances and friends of mine. Again, on the down low, nobody can talk about this openly because of the sickness psychosis that's everywhere. The point, though, is that while they may have to put a sign on the door, it doesn't mean that they have to enforce it because there's no law behind it. Their job is not to be the auxiliaries of the Gesundheitsführers. And what that means on a practical level is that if you just walk through the door of these businesses and behave normally, there's a decent chance they're not even going to say anything to you. And if they do say something to you, you can always say, look, I can't wear a face diaper. And that will be enough, because there actually are laws on the books relating to medical and health reasons for not putting on the face diaper, all of which are entirely legitimate. It's absurd for a healthy person to restrict their breathing, and it's psychologically debilitating to put on one of these filthy, awful things so as to give the appearance of buying into this sickness psychosis. At any rate, that's what I did with this dentist, and I found out about this guy from a friend of mine who's also a diaper dissenter. And so I went there, and even though there were signs on the door saying, "Thou shalt not enter without the diaper," I just walked in and walked up to the desk and was normal, had a normal conversation with the woman behind the counter who was only partially diapered, and that's like the Masonic handshake to let you know that somebody doesn't buy into this stuff. Made an appointment, everything is cool, nobody has said anything to me. So that has also been my experience at a number of stores, including stores where I happen to know the owner, and while they're compelled to pretend to go along with the kabuki because as a store owner they can be threatened with the loss of their business license, the government can't yet force them legally to impose diapering on people. That's the hidden secret right now of the diaper regime. So I encourage all of you who are sick and tired of face diapering and sick and tired of all of the social pressuring to join the cult to simply ignore the cult. And if you do get confronted with a rabid diaperer, I think a really good response, rather than to engage them about the merits or lack thereof of the diaper, is simply to say, "But I'm not a member." This will stymie them. They'll look at you, and when they ask what you mean by that, you can say, "Of your cult." Ideally get that on video so that you can post it up on YouTube and other social media. If you send that to me, by the way, I will happily give it an airing over at epautos.com. It's very important that we give as much airing of this as we possibly can, per Alinsky's rules regarding radicals, which work both ways. And what I mean by that is to take up his injunction to mock tyrannical authority. It's the best way, I think, to get rid of tyrannical authority. Tyrannical authority can only be tyrannical so long as it's feared and respected. If you make it ridiculous, if you laugh at it, if you bring it into general ridicule and disrepute, it's very hard to maintain it. So that's why I think it's really important to go after this diapering idiocy. And by the way, to those who think that I'm being a little bit extreme here, consider the fact that a literal face diaper, if you cut up a diaper and put it over your face, that qualifies as a face covering. something that has zero medical value at all, not even a minuscule benefit to you. Putting on a baby diaper over your face will be enough to qualify you to enter stores with diapers muss sein requirements outside. Think about that. Think about the fact that some dirty old bandana that you put over your face qualifies as a quote-unquote face covering. This should tell anybody with an IQ in the triple digits or even in the high double digits that this is not about sickness, or rather it's not about physical sickness. It's about imposing mental sickness and tyrannizing and terrifying the population. If this were about sickness, if this were legitimately the bubonic plague or something comparable to that, there would be some sort of injunction that nothing less than a medically effective respirator of some kind be worn at all times when dealing with other people. And of course, they don't do that. And the reason for that ought to be obvious by now. Anyway, moreover, at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site. I'll have more up shortly. There's also an article now live about how Mercedes has been dieseled, very much like Mercedes, like VW got dieseled over this nonsense, technical foul cheating on government emissions certification tests, and the real reason behind all of that. So thanks as always for listening to the rants, reading the articles, and supporting the site, and we'll catch up with you again soon.